I'm a hair mineral analysis expert. I have a background in functional medicine, and I educate people using HTMA testing to maximize health, erase debilitating symptoms, and gain energy. I'm a multi-time kettlebell sport world champion, and I'm constantly searching for high-performance pros from all over the world to bring you this human optimization podcast. My name is Lisa Pitel-Killah. Welcome everybody to a brand new episode of the Human Optimization Podcast. I have here with me today, Lisa Balash, AKA the Kettlebell Bombshell, certified with the International Kettlebell and Fitness Federation, as well as the International Kettlebell Sport and Fitness Academy. She has achieved her candidate for Master of Sport in Kettlebell Sport in 1 hour long cycle, and she's been a Pilates instructor since 2003. Can you believe that? And been training others with kettlebells for over 13 years. Lisa has worked with professional athletes as well, such as Larry Fitzgerald from the Arizona Cardinals, 4-time Mr. Olympia Jay Cutler, UFC fighters, and WWE wrestler Matthew Riddle. She released her Kettlebell Bombshell DVD set in 2010, which we're going to be talking about in a little bit, and started the Bombshell and Bomb Shelter clothing line in 2019. And I am currently waiting for mine to arrive. I'm so excited.
I thought you would have got them by now because I got the notification a few days ago that they shipped them, and I thought, oh, cool, she'll get them by the time we do the podcast. And then I thought, oh, probably not.
Oh, well, not
everything
yet.
is slow.
Yeah,
everything is slowed down because of COVID and stuff. So it's kind of, hit or miss.
Exactly. But I'll let you know when I get them. I'm going to be posting some pictures because I've heard how amazing they are. And I cannot wait for mine to arrive.
I'm wearing some right now. These
awesome.
Cheetah camouflage. Woo.
That's super cool. I love those.
Yeah, they're so comfortable, and you are going to love them because they're so comfortable. You feel like you're not wearing leggings at all. It's amazing.
That's awesome. Well, we have so many awesome topics to talk about today. And so let's dive in. I want to hear about how your passion for physical fitness came about. Share it with us. Tell us.
It's actually a cool story.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to. So I just turned 51 2 days ago. So I'm going to go back to.
Happy belated birthday! Hold on, happy belated birthday! Wow, that's wonderful.
Thank you. Yeah. So I've been involved in a bunch of other things prior to fitness. So just to give you a quick background. Okay, so I moved to Las Vegas in 1991, and I immediately got involved in dealing, blackjack, 21 kind of thing, and I was working in the casinos. So I was a smoker, and I never ate anything. I drank coffee all day. I was like 118 pounds, and I was 21 or 22 at the time, and I was thinking, I'm just skinny and I look so good, And health and fitness was never on my mind, like ever. I didn't work out, but in high school and junior high, I did. I ran track. I was in gymnastics. I mean, and then I get into these bad habits as you get old enough to do it, on your own. And I was smoking and everything. And as I explained already. So when I turned 30, I decided I wanted to quit smoking. So, and I was working out here and there with weights in my 20s. So I'd go to the gym for a little while. I'd like look good. Then I would quit. And then I would, something else would catch my eye. And I wasn't really that involved yet. And then after I turned 30, I decided I was like, I really need to be healthy. I need to stop smoking. I need to stop drinking and hanging out with my friends and eating fast food or not even eating food and drinking coffee all day. It was just, that's how I lived. And so I stopped doing all of that. And then I started going to Gold's Gym, opened up by my house, and it was a new gym. So I went there where I met a few people, and I met my very first personal trainer, Jeannie Pepperone, who still trains me for fitness shows. She's amazing. I've been friends with her for over 20 years. And I just decided, I was like, I really want to look like these girls in the magazines. And I would come home from work and I would turn on ESPN because I worked on swing shifts. So I'd get off of work at 3 a.m. So I turn on ESPN and there'd be Kiana Tom doing Flex Appeal. And I would see these, girls that were in amazing shape. And I'm like, oh, I want to look like that. I really want to have muscles and whatever. And so Jeannie started training me, and she was like, why don't you do a show? Why don't you compete? And I'm like, compete in what? I didn't even know what she meant. And she's a bodybuilder. So she's like, oh, you could compete in fitness and whatever. She's like, you look good now. And da, da, da. So I was like, oh, that sounds fun. So I started reading Oxygen magazine cover to cover and seeing people like Monica Brandt and Timea Mayorova and all these people that were the top of their game and everything. And I thought, oh, wow, I just want to do that. I want to look like them. So then I thought, well, I have to eat better. So Jeannie put me on, not really a diet, but she kind of told me how you have to eat to compete in fitness and figure. So I did the very first ever figure show. 2001 was the first year they ever had figure. I did the first one, and I got way too skinny because I kept dieting and doing cardio, which is really the worst thing, because when you're trying to have muscle, you cardio it off if you're doing too much. I was doing too much cardio and really tight diet, like no sugar, no this, no that. And so I was too skinny, but I got 7th place in the first show. There was 12 girls, so I got 7th. And I thought, oh, I was robbed. I looked so good. And really, I didn't. I was just looked like a toothpick, you know. So the girls that won, they deserved to win. So then I decided, like, the next year I want to put on more muscle. So I started doing that. And then like 2 years later, I went, I think it was 2003. I looked the best I ever looked. And Jeannie was like, this is it. You look amazing. Well, I ended up getting 4th place at the show. And I was very disappointed because I really felt like I got robbed. And it was actually the girl that got second. Her and I looked very comparable. And we were talking backstage and we were like, it's probably between us two. And then this other girl just, who didn't even really look the part, she won. So that's fine. That happens all the time in fitness. So you get your heart broken. But immediately I went to Washington, and I had a friend with me that he was a bodybuilder. And I said, I don't care. I'm going to go do this show. And this was back before the internet. So you had to read about it in a magazine and find it in the back of a magazine. So like, I'm going to do this show. It was called the Emerald Cup. And I just thought that sounded like so cool, like the Wizard of Oz or something. I go, I'm going to do this Emerald Cup show. Well, I had no idea it was the biggest amateur show that there ever was. So every year it's like the largest show. So you might know Elaine Goodlad. She's from Canada, but she lives here. So she won that show in her amateur days. And so I went there in 2004, and I just came off of being upset getting 4th place here in Vegas. And I went up there, and I didn't feel I looked as good as I did when I did the Vegas show. And my workout partner, he goes, you know, Lisa, he goes, this is it. This is how you look. The judges don't know you. They never saw you. It's too late. He goes, this is already how you are. There's nothing you can do about it. So I was like, you know, well, that isn't nice. So then I said, you know what? I'm just going to go out there, and I'm just going to, I know I look good. I'm just going to feel like I look the best. That's what I'm going to do. And I went up there and I did just that. And I couldn't believe it. I got the first call out, which means you're the first person they're looking at. And the girl that was next to me, I thought, oh, she's probably going to beat me. Like, I don't want her to beat me. And so she ended up turning the wrong way when they said quarter turn to the right. She turned to the left. And she did a couple posing mistakes that I think is why I ended up beating her, because they judge you on everything, you know. And so I ended up winning that show. And I was never so happy in my life because I had no idea that it was such a big deal. I didn't know. So I ended up winning that show. And then from there on, I just kept going into national level and whatever. So I ended up quitting in 2007. I kept competing in figure, and I was doing well, but I wasn't getting the top placings at the nationals, which is what you need to turn pro. So then I just decided, maybe it's not for me. And I found kettlebells, and I met Marty Farrell in 2000.
Oh, yes. Yep.
And I actually, my last show at the national level, I placed higher than I ever did. And I wasn't even weight training. I was doing kettlebells only. And I was doing fitness exercises though with them, because I didn't even know how to do jerks or snatch or nothing like that. So I met Marty at the Arnold Classic, and he's been my coach ever since. He introduced me to it. I've never left him because I don't feel the need to. I think he's amazing on every single level. And him and I, we just really work well together. So he came out here to Vegas, and he taught me how to do the exercises and whatnot. And then he just started coaching me. You know, back then it was a lot different because there wasn't so much video accessibility. Like now you just upload a video on your phone, and it's just, you know, super simple. Back then it wasn't like that. So it was a lot harder to like send people videos. You couldn't just upload them to YouTube. I had to have people filming me with like real video cameras and stuff. So it was a lot more challenging back then, but now things are much easier, you know. So he's been my coach ever since. I did get to CMS in one arm long cycle, and then I really didn't try to do master of sport. And then I switched over to doubles. So I've just been going in and out. I'm not really having anything in particular, no like set competitions or anything. I've just been training. So that's, you know, pretty much what I'm doing. And I'm kind of having more fun without putting the pressure of a meet on me, you know? So yeah, so that's also part of it. So I'm like, well, we'll see what happens. If it's meant to be, it'll happen. And if not, I have fun training, and I like to use it as a form of staying in shape, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, and that's one of the things that definitely attracted me to kettlebells. And even with some of the students I coach, is that you don't have to be a particular body type. You don't have to be 20 years old. I mean, there's just
Thank
so
God.
much, right? There's so much we can do with these totally versatile tools. It's amazing. And I think
And
a
I
lot of
think it's
people
so
really don't
fun.
realize that. Yeah,
And it's
it
so
is
fun.
fun.
And I think people don't think it is. Like, I think
Yeah.
sometimes when people see like, oh, you just do that one thing, because I've trained people too, and they like that. And and I should coin this word because I never hear anybody else use it, but I go, they want an inner trainer. They
Oh,
don't want to
yes.
be trained. They want to be entertained and
I
entertain
like
me.
that.
Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So I go, I'm not here for your entertainment. This is like training. If you
Yeah.
want to get fit and look good, it takes work and it takes sacrifice, and you're going to have to do certain things, and you're not going to like them all. I don't like them all, but I do them anyway.
Yeah.
But that's how you get the real results. If you're going to sit here and pick and choose what you like one day, oh, I don't feel like doing that. Like, even when I have clients that tell me how to train them, and I'm like, okay, should we do this next? They always say that. Should we do this next? No, why should we? You know, and I'm like, well, if you want to train yourself, okay, fine, go ahead. You could do that. And then I say that, you could do that, go ahead. And then they're like, well, I was just going to say, and I'm like, I know, but what am I here for? You don't know more than me. You've hired me so I can help you get
Yeah.
ahead or improve yourself on some level, not for you to decide which exercises you like and you feel like doing, because you're going to do those same ones over and over, and you're going to neglect the ones that are going to help you, you know? So it's like,
Exactly.
I'm actually here to push you to do the stuff you don't want to do. You know what I mean? And that's what they don't get.
Yeah.
It's like, that's why you're paying me, because I'm going to help you do the things that you're avoiding.
Yeah, it's very true. And we're all in the same boat. It's like, oh, I don't really like to do that. But you know,
Exactly.
whenever you say that about something, it's probably the thing that you need to do the most.
That's what I mean. That's me
Right?
with snatching. That's me with snatch. I hate snatch. I hate it. I hate it.
Oh,
Hate it. Hate it.
oh, that's my fave. That's my
Oh, oh, my
fave.
hands hate it. My hands hate it. And no matter what I do, I can't do it. It's so dry here in Vegas. Chalk is
Oh,
like the
yes.
enemy of me. So I don't
Right.
use a whole lot. You need some, but not a whole lot. And
Yeah.
snatching, I feel my hands, I just don't like it. But what I do like is double half snatch. I think that is
Oh.
super fun. So I do
Hmm.
like that.
Amazing, amazing. And so let's talk a little bit about, because you have your workout videos, right? Your Kettlebell Bombshell workout
Yes, yes.
videos.
A lot of people don't buy DVD anymore because
Right,
obviously they do online. So
right.
I'm on a website called curious.com. It's a teaching website. And so not
Oh,
only do my courses, I have two different courses, and they're actually have more content than the DVDs have. So I actually think they're a little bit better because they're more recent,
yep.
and I added extra things, but they're downloadable. So you have to go through that particular website to
Mhm.
get it, but it's a teaching thing. So for people who are new, it actually goes through sections of teaching you. And I think they have questions that they ask them, and so it's like a
An
thing where they're
interactive.
supposed to be learning. Yes, yeah. It's
Very
very cool.
cool.
And
Nice.
that's on
Oh, okay. So I'll
curious.com.
make sure to put that in the description, everybody. So if
Yeah,
you're
I'll
watching or
send you the
listening,
link.
it'll be there. Yeah. And yeah, because I mean, you know, and the cool thing too, especially right now with a lot of the gyms, you know, depending on where you are, some gyms aren't open, right? Some gyms are limited with space and availability and stuff like that. I mean, you can do kettlebells at home, right? You
And
can do
that's the
kettlebells at
fun of it.
home and load, you know, put on the TV and do whatever you know, get it done. And that way you're not
I
missing your
work out in my
training.
kitchen. I work
Yeah.
out in my kitchen
I'm usually in my
all the
basement.
time.
Yeah, basement or garage, one or the other.
It's just amazing how good it is,
Yeah,
because and then the thing that it saves, not only it saves you time, it gives you so much more freedom. You can do what you
right,
want. You can put the temp, like for me, the big deal is the temperature. I can't work out when it's hot. I
right.
have to have it freezing. So I
Yes.
can put my AC on. I can
Mhm.
open the doors and windows. I can have the radio on. I can have the TV on. I can do whatever I feel like doing. My dog is sitting there watching me. So it's
Yeah.
just more fun, I think. And I can be like sitting here, I think I'll work out now, and get up and walk in the other room. And that's the thing that I like too, because I don't like to have to meet a training partner. I hate that. Like, oh, can we work
Right.
out at 3? Like, oh, no, no, no. I'll never do that.
Yeah.
I have tried it in the past, and I just don't enjoy having to meet people. I want to just get up and go. So I do the same thing with the bells. It's like I feel like training. I get up and
Yeah.
go. So I'm not going to be like, oh, I think in 2 hours I'll drive to the gym. Like, I don't have time to do that. So
Yeah.
on occasion, I still do weight train, but
Mhm.
not nearly as much as I do with the kettlebells.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. And so I want to talk a little bit about, because you do obviously a lot of work with kettlebells. You obviously do a lot of physique work. We talked about the figure competitions. And so, and how you kind of got down that path. Let's talk about nutrition because
Oh yeah.
people neglect, right? We did talk about your nutrition, how it changed throughout the years, right? As,
Yes,
as we were
yes.
changing what we were doing. But
Dramatically.
it's so important, right?
Oh yeah.
Let's talk about
But
that.
here's my big thing to tell people.
Yeah.
Please don't hate carbohydrates and don't fear carbohydrates. They got the worst rap in the
I
world
know.
and they're so important. And I just get so irritated with everybody and their carb, 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 carb. I'm like, "Ugh," because I'm a high carb person and
Mhm.
I'm lean all the time. And people are like, but I do low fats. I do some fat, but not very much.
Yeah.
And for me, this is what has worked for me over all the years is lean protein and carbohydrates and fibrous carbohydrates. So I do a mix of either sweet potatoes, oatmeal, brown rice, any kind of grains like that. And I know some people can't have these things, and I'm not saying to argue with people. They're going, well, I
Yeah.
can't have that because I have this nut. You got to do what you got to do, but this is what works for me. And then it's not that I avoid bread and stuff. I just really don't eat that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And every meal, I weigh and measure my food. And that
Mhm.
sounds extreme, but it's really not. It takes seconds to do it. So what I'll do is I'll cook all my meats because I do eat meat. I cook all my meats. So like yesterday, I cooked turkey and bison. And
Mhm.
then I'll make my sweet potatoes and brown rice. And then in the morning, I make my oatmeal fresh. But I'll make enough for a couple days. I don't have to have fresh food every day because I don't
Yeah.
want to cook every day.
Mhm.
So I'll weigh and measure. I eat 4 ounces of protein, 3 ounces of starch, like the rice or the sweet potato. And then I'll
Mhm.
go into fibrous carbs. At the end of the day, I'll increase those. So I'll usually have like 2 to 3 ounces of those in place of the other thing. And I don't even always do that. Sometimes I'll just eat more starch at night. It just depends on what my activity level was for the day.
For the day, yeah.
Because I don't
Mhm.
want to be like, I'm really tired. Like, this is what I hear from people like, I'm so tired. Well, you're tired because you won't eat carbohydrates. Fats, yeah, you can use fat as energy. Fat is a good fuel, but it's not the end all be all. And the thing that people forget too, they think they get more defined when they cut their carbs. Well, at first you're going to get rid of some excess water. It's not
Mhm.
body fat, it's water, because carbohydrate, they hydrate your body, they
Right.
hydrate your muscles, they fill your muscles out. The glycogen fills the muscles out, gives it the shape. So when you cut them back and you start to deplete them, you'll start going to you'll start having to urinate more frequently.
Mhm.
And then before you know it, now you've flattened yourself out because you don't have any carbs. So now your muscles, they don't look more defined, they actually look flat, and you look like you don't really have that much muscle.
Yeah.
So then the people think, I got to cut my carbs more. I'm going to eat none because I don't have any definition. Well, that's why you don't have definition, because you don't have anything to fill the muscle out to show separation of your muscles.
Mhm.
So what they're looking for is to show the separation and the detail. So they think the carbohydrates are the reason that they don't have it. Well, it might be at first, but when you dial it back and you start to see, what am I really eating? How much of this do I need? Are you training with kettlebells? Are you doing an endurance sport? And then all of a sudden you're depleting yourself to nothing and now you
Yeah.
have no energy. So that is a big problem that most of my clients have. They
Mhm.
are scared to eat them because everybody in the fitness industry has deemed them the enemy and they make you fat. Well, when I say carbohydrates, I'm not talking about the healthy ones. Like I just said, you're not going to eat Twinkies and Oreos and, those kind of
Yeah.
things. Fattening, sugar,
Yeah.
fried, not fried, but fattening things that have are processed food and packages. Those always expand your waistline. Eating out, there's always excess hidden things in food when you go to eat out. So this is how people gain weight. It's not just because you're eating carbs, it's because you're eating processed food, you're eating sodium, you're eating sugar. These things make you hold water, right? So that's
Mhm.
going to make you puffier, make you softer looking. So it's a fine balance, and everybody has to find what works for them. But you can't take carbs out if you're an endurance athlete. And if you're doing kettlebells, you need some. And I'm not saying all day long, because some people might get away with not eating any and they feel good and they look good. Okay, that's fine. But if they did have some, if they could, it would make them look even better. And that's the
Mhm.
thing, that people avoid them like for too long, maybe. And I know people that, my own father, he won't listen to anything. And he's like, carbs are so bad for you. And I quit eating all those carbs. And I'm like, okay, dad, I'm an athlete. I need carbs, but he'll tell everybody else. That's why my cholesterol is perfect, because I don't eat carbohydrates. And I'm like, yeah, you don't, but you need some. You can't tell people don't eat them. So he likes to, talk like that because he believes in keto diet. And I've been trying to teach him about carbs, and he listens a little bit, but he's really into keto dieting. So I
Got
just
it.
let him, and I say, okay, that's cool. It works for you.
Yeah, well, and and it is because we have to remember that we need to replace everything that we're burning when we're training, right? And not
Yeah,
only that,
yeah,
your brain's number one fuel is glucose, right?
yes.
So I mean, we
People
have
don't know
to.
that.
Yeah, I know. I know, and even the thyroid, right? That's why a lot of people who
Yes.
cut carbs completely into it for a long period of time end up with having some thyroid problems.
Yep.
So is really important. And you made a really good point there, and I think people confuse and blame types of macronutrients rather than thinking about clean eating. Right?
Yes.
It's really
Absolutely.
about clean eating and
Hmm.
not consuming all that sodium and processed foods and sugars and things like that. That's where all the
Yeah.
bad stuff comes from.
I think processed food is the worst. I mean,
Yeah.
from what I see, anything in a package, if it's crunchy and makes all that noise, it's not good for you. And then they
Yeah.
label it to deceive people like gluten free or vegan or whatever the
Yeah.
case may be. And it's like, oh, I'm going to eat this because it's healthy. No, that came off an assembly line. That's not healthy. Like, that's not,
Exactly.
if you want healthy, you shop the perimeter of the store. You go fruits and vegetables. You go, if you can do
Hmm.
dairy, like I can do dairy too. So I'm like the exact opposite of what everybody else like does. I do drink milk. I like it. I eat meat. I do carbs. I do, but I don't do a lot of fat. I'll have a little bit of peanut butter, but I don't do fats like high fats like avocados and all that. I don't do that. I'll eat egg yolks on occasion because you
Hmm.
do get the omega 6, 3, and 9, but
Yeah.
that's all I do. And I feel good every day. I'm 51. I have energy like through the roof. I train with heavy kettlebells and I train with light things too. I weight train. I do everything. I do run, at the park with my dog. So I'm super, super active. And I don't even let my age come into my head because I feel good. So
It's
I'm
just a
not,
number.
yeah. And I just feel like, but I mean, not to ignore it either. I
Yeah.
just feel like I go off of how I feel and I feel awesome. So,
Yeah. Well, and you know what? That is the main thing for sure.
yeah.
And so tell me about your latest endeavor because did you I follow you on social media and I remember seeing a few things that you were up to. So give us some updates.
Okay, so I backed off of training people as much,
Hmm.
and because just like for whatever reason, my business was slowing down, and I thought, well, I wanted to start selling leggings, but
Yeah.
I never knew I was going to do it to this degree. I just started with one or two pairs that I took my Kettlebell Bombshell logo, and this is actually one of my top sellers.
Uh-huh.
I put the white logo on the one leg, and the other leg is solid, so you can make it black, red, blue, whatever color.
Hmm.
And I made those and the Rosie the Riveter leggings, and I had this graphic artist design them. And I
Yeah.
said, oh, I want a pinup girl on the side, and I just want it to be like real pretty. So she made me three different options to choose from, and I liked them all. And I said, well, I'm just going to help them all.
Yeah.
So I have a brunette. I call the Betty. It's gray with her on it. And then I have the burgundy one with the blonde, and I love her the best. That's the Veronica. And then the Rosie, the Riveter. So those were my three pinup styles, and then the Kettlebell Bombshell one. So I started selling those off of another company, and I got the leggings, and truthfully, I didn't care for them as much. I was like, I don't know if I like these. They looked
Hmm.
good, but they were too thick and they didn't have enough stretch. So I
Okay.
found this other company that I started using, and oh my God, amazing. And I just got an email from a girl today that said, I just bought them and they are the best leggings I've ever had. She's like, I should have bought more on your sale. But yeah, so the thing I like about these, they are high waisted. They
Hmm.
stretch, unbelievable stretch, like in the thighs. And that's where people who work out, we need more movement. And I've had so many leggings that the thighs don't stretch. So
Yeah.
it's like as soon as I put them on, the leg room, it's just tight around my thighs. And it might be loose around my midsection because I'm smaller there. So it's
Yeah.
like, okay, these are so tight in my legs and my butt. And if I go up a size, they're going to be loose. So these, they stretch everywhere, and they're squat proof and they're beautiful. And I have all kinds of different designs that, I mean, there's something for everybody. And then I started selling these other matching sets that are more like mainstream looking things that are really amazing fabric. I just got a whole bunch of them. This design is one of my favorites. This is one of my own that I've made. These are called Winter Animal Print, and they are
Cute.
so
I
pretty.
love
I wear
them.
this one the most,
Yeah.
and this one
I love the
the
camo. That's,
camo,
yep.
the camo cheetah.
Yep.
These are like my top favorites. So I wear these all the time. The seamless line is called Seamless Stretch.
Cool.
And these are on sale right now for the rest of the month for 20% off of the already discounted price. So
Nice.
they're amazing. So they are this super
Oh,
stretchy,
nice.
insane fabric that is just like, oh my God, you want to sleep in it. And the leggings
Wow.
they are an ombre. So this is the white set. It comes in
Yeah,
pink,
yeah.
purple. Fabric is just like out of this world. And I was
Very
thinking,
cool.
what does this feel like? It feels familiar. Like I had something else like this. And you know what it was? I just discovered it. It's a Roberto Cavalli dress that I have. And it
Oh,
is stretchy and it
yep.
feels exactly like this. And I was like, oh,
Nice.
that's what it feels
Like
like. So I'm
that's
like,
what it is.
yeah. And then I have a couple other styles of that too. So when you go
Nice.
on the website, the seamless category is where you can find that. But yeah, so it's just
Amazing.
been really fun. So I in addition to the kettlebell bombshell, I did bomb shelter for guys,
Mhm.
right? So
Yep.
I didn't know that girls were going to like it. So because all the guys were like, well, I want to buy something, but you're not going to wear kettlebell bombshell. They told me they
Right.
would, but I'm like, I don't want you to wear kettlebell bombshell because that's for girls. So I said, I'm going to make something else for men. And then I don't know how it just kind of hit me because I used to joke around with my friend and say, well, and I don't really even call myself kettlebell bombshell. This is another thing too.
Yeah.
That's my brand. I've really
Mhm.
never wanted me to be that. It was more like when I made the DVDs, I wanted the pinup-y look and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I wanted it to mean the person buying the DVD, doing the kettlebell workout was going to be a kettlebell bombshell. So it was really technically supposed to be the customer.
Yeah.
You guys are supposed to become a kettlebell bombshell
Yeah, I
doing
love
the
it.
workout. But then everybody calls me that. And I'm like, I don't, whatever. So I'm Lisa, but hey, that's okay. But that's okay too. I think we all are a kettlebell bombshell. So
Exactly.
anybody doing kettlebells, because a kettlebell bombshell is an attitude too. It's not a look, it's an attitude. It's like you're going to be a strong, fierce, fit female. So there
Yeah.
you go, you know. So for the men, I did bomb shelter, and then I had these girls emailing me like, are you going to make that for women? Is that for guys? Do you make that for girls? I'm like, what the heck? Really? I was like, huh. So I thought I'll start with logo leggings. So I
Yeah.
put the logo on the side of the leggings, and then I just went from there. And then I just started designing more styles, and I kind of put them
Mhm.
under bomb shelter. So I was like, so another top seller that I have, they're called the Rain Bell collection, and they have the kettlebells in the color from 8 to 32
Mhm.
kilo, from pink
Mhm.
to red down
Yeah.
the side of the leg. So some of them come in camouflage, and I have different color camouflage, like the hot pink,
Mhm.
blue, yellow. So to match each one. So whatever your
Very
favorite color is.
cool.
So you could
Yes.
wear, so it's half of the leg is camo and the other half is solid black with the bells down the side. So
Nice.
that's the Rain Bell collection, and that's on there. And then I also, for kettlebell lifters, I have the kettlebell sport acronyms. So
Mhm.
on the pants, you see the acronyms: 1 arm long cycle, 2 arm long cycle, snatch, and then it says one more rep, make every rep count, like that kind of stuff. So
Oh,
it's
that's
really cute.
awesome. I did see
So
those. They're very cute.
those are
Yeah.
super popular. So a
Yeah.
lot of the girls in the kettlebell community have got those, which I love. So I like seeing people lifting them. I'm like, oh my God, I get so excited. Like I'm like such a geek. I get so excited when I see people lifting in my stuff. I'm like, oh my God, look how cute she looks. And I'm like, I can't wait to show you. So
Well, you're passionate about what you're doing, and that's amazing.
but I have a collection for everybody. I have animal print, which I love animal print. Like I'm a
Mhm.
huge animal print. There's just regular solid colors too. And then I have a black line with colorful waistbands. You
Yeah.
could get a black legging and just put that on the top, and also with the matching sports bras. And
Yeah.
the leggings are all the same no matter what is on them. If they're solid black, if they have a pattern, they're still the same comfortable material.
Yeah.
So very stretchy, very good. So I'm going to recommend, if you do want to shop there, you do go down a size if you're in between sizes, because they have so much stretch.
Well, and it's always nicer to, anybody who's doing like CrossFit or kettlebells or whatever, it's always nice to have a little bit of compression, right? Because
Yes.
you just feel you feel the difference with that for sure. I definitely noticed that.
But here's the other thing too. Everybody has told me the same comment, so I'm going to say it's not just me.
Yeah.
Everybody says they can't believe how good that their booty looks. They're like, it gives you such, like, I don't know how it does it, but I mean, even people that buy them from me that I know that don't work out, they're just like wearing them to wear something cute.
Yeah.
They're like, I can't believe how good my butt looks in these. Oh my gosh. And that's like the number one
It's a good
comment.
side effect.
So it really is
I
a
love
flattering
it.
fit. It is a flattering cut. And
Yeah.
that's what I like, because I was thinking I want these leggings to make you look good and feel good at the same time, because what good is one without the other, you know?
Yeah, exactly. No, I agree 100%. And everybody needs to look good and feel good at the gym, right? Or at
Yes.
home doing your workouts.
And sometimes it's more fun to go to the gym when you feel like you have on a super cute outfit. I feel like that. I'll be like, oh, I want to wear these to the gym because these are so cute. And then I'll be excited to go. And I think that helps a little bit in the motivation area. So, and here's another thing
That
about
is true.
nutrition too that I was going to tell you.
Mhm.
When people, another thing that I think is lacking in the understanding part, which is our job to teach them, if you don't eat properly, you don't build muscle. And when they say they want to like tone up or lose weight, what they really want to do is they want to build a little bit of lean muscle, because that will burn body fat, that will increase your metabolism. You will burn more calories when you're sitting at rest, when you have some muscle on you, versus just doing cardio. Because I've had people tell me, well, I'm going to do cardio first, and when I lose weight, then I'll lift weight. I go, okay, do you realize you'll do it quicker
Opposite.
if you do it
Yeah.
this way?
Opposite way around for
And
sure.
if you
Yeah.
really want it to happen, it'll happen a lot faster but when you're eating to fuel your body, to build muscle. And when I say build muscle, I don't mean Incredible Hulk muscle. I just mean get your muscle to, hypertrophy a little bit so that you can burn more calories, because it's like we said, it speeds up the metabolism. So if you can just get your nutrition where you're increasing your protein so that you can help assist in the building of muscle and the recovery of the workouts with some carbs and some healthy fats, that's what's going to actually give you a better body. And it's going to make your workouts actually more effective, because you're going to be building muscle mass. You're going to be losing the fat. Like I tell my one client, like, she's so cute. She's in her 60s and she looks insane. And she's like, she goes, I started listening to you about how you eat and everything. She goes, and I've never looked so good. She gets so many compliments because her arms are nice, and her legs and her, her glutes and everything. And we were talking about it. And I told her, I said, think of it like this: muscle and fat are mortal enemies. It's like, it's Clash of the Titans. Two of them can't exist at the same time. If you have a lot of muscle mass, it's going to burn fat. And if you have a lot of fat, there is no muscle. Like, that's like how you know, because the muscle atrophies. And then people will say, well, doesn't muscle turn to fat? I go, no, your muscle atrophies as you're not using it and you're not increasing it by eating, protein and stuff. So then more fat accumulates because the muscle's not burning the fat off, especially if you have a family. If you're working out for them as well, not just for yourself, not just for you to look good. It's for your internal health, and it's for your health and your well-being. It's for your mental health. It's for everything. So you want to make sure that when you're training and you're eating good, it's like, everything's not about the outside appearance. The outside appearance is a side effect of the inside being healthy. That's what I think. It's like, this is just like what happened after I started eating really proper nutrition and eating really good, and stopped going to, 7-Eleven and Taco Bell for my meals, or whatever I was doing back then, and buying 2 packs of cigarettes, like I had said. When you stop doing that kind of stuff and you start, trading it for better nutrition and better habits in general, then your body just starts to show up like that.
And that's one of the reasons too, when we're in those stressful situations, that a daily movement practice, whatever that might be for anyone, is so important. Because you're right, it's about your mental health. Your body's meant to move. We're not meant to sit behind a desk 12 hours a day, right? And that's really important. People need to get moving. It just helps everything.
And how many times of your clients maybe even come in and you could tell they didn't want to be there, but after they got done, they were like a whole different person.
Absolutely.
Because they got it done, they burn calories, they feel good, those endorphins kick in, then they leave there knowing, oh, thank God I came here, because I was going to just go home and sit on the couch and watch an episode of whatever, and then eat whatever I had in the cupboard. It's not that big of a deal if you don't do it all the time. So if I let it go one day, the next day I can't let it go. But if you do 2 and 3 and 4 in a row, then you're slipping. That's when you have to check yourself and say, okay, I need to go do something healthy, eat something healthy, whatever. And sometimes for people, it's easier to change the nutrition first and then add the exercising, because I know people that do that too, and that's okay. But if they do both together, it always works out a little bit better, a little bit faster too,
Yeah, I agree. And you're right. Take it one thing at a time. If you have, if you're trying to build healthy habits, take it one thing at a time, do it for that's 21 days to make a habit, right? Whether it's increasing your water intake, clean eating 80% of the time, using that 80-20 rule, or getting to the, outside for a walk or a run or kettlebells or gym or whatever you're going to do, definitely, build those habits, and then everything else will fall into place. So Lisa has been generous enough to do a draw. So if you share either the podcast or the video via any social media channel and tag us, then you'll be put into a draw for a free pair of leggings. Yay!
And the leggings of your choice. They could be leggings, capri, or anything. Shorts, whatever they like.
Amazing. And don't forget, on my recommends page, so if you visit my website, I'll have that link in the bio as well. On my recommends page, you will find the Kettlebell Bombshell and Bomb Shelter line there. And with my code LPK10, you can get 10% off. Well, thank you so much, Lisa, for being with us. And if you're watching on YouTube, we have a brand new episode of the Human Optimization Podcast every 2 weeks. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, give this episode a like. And if you're listening on your favorite podcast host, make sure you give us a thumbs up. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for listening to today's show. Head over to Pitel-Killah.com to gain access to some amazing free resources that will help you gain energy, erase debilitating symptoms, and be the best version of you. Remember to give this podcast a like and follow me on social media at Lisa Pitel-Killah. I'm here every 2 weeks with a brand new episode of the Human Optimization Podcast. Until next time.